Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new channel. I'm going to be talking about the CPC party today. Congratulations on the 100th year celebration. And I'm sure this is a very much a historic moment for a lot of you. And I just wanted to congratulate you. So, what I wanted to do today, guys, I wanted to go over a few Western papers and see what they're saying about the 100-year celebration of the Communist Party. So, let's go through a few articles and let's have a laugh, shall we? So this is from Sky News, and Sky News is one of the major news sites in UK. It probably is the biggest, actually. So look what it says. China's Xi Jinping issues bloodshed warning. Bloodshed warning. Do they even bloody read his speech? I mean, come on, seriously. And look at what they say here. To pass the time, they sang old red songs. Can you see the wording again, guys? To pass the time, like they were all sitting there bored, nothing to do, so they decided to pass the time. And look what it says here. They practice vigorous flag waving, all in the wrist. Oh my God, it's all in the wrist, basically. Seriously, what the hell? Here, but come off the hour, come off the man, Xi Jinping. Oh God, can you believe this shit? They make him sound like he's Elvis or something. And look at what they say here. Other leaders on stage were wearing Western business suits. So what else they're going to wear? Traditional Chinese gear? Seriously, what's wrong with them? They can wear what they want. And look at this. A racket of helicopters approached from the east. A racket. Racket of helicopters, like, a racket is basically someone causes a racket. They're causing too much noise. Okay, look at this, guys. The ideology can be a bit dry. I mean, what kind of journalism is that? That's like your point of view. Seriously, it's not everyone's point of view. Talk to 104 billion Chinese people first, and then find out if that ideology is a bit dry. So look at this line, guys. So this line prompted the biggest cheer of the day. The Chinese people will absolutely not allow any foreign force to bully, oppress, or enslave us, and anyone who attempts to do so will face broken heads and bloodshed in front of the Iron Great Wall of 1.4 billion Chinese people. Can you believe this shit? I mean, I wasn't there, but I know exactly what was said. And do you even think this is proper journalism? He's just missing out key words. And the key words is this is not what Xi Jinping said. He said, in front of the Iron Great Steel Wall of 1.4 billion Chinese people. There's a big difference between steel wall and the Great Wall. You dumb shit. Seriously, what kind of journalist is this? You can't even get the speech right. This is the kind of Western propaganda you get in the West. They miss out important keywords and make it sound like someone's gonna grab someone's head and start bashing it in the Great Wall. That's not what he said. Seriously, this is the kind of stupidity that I have to see in the Western media. This shows the intelligence level of a lot of these Western reporters. They don't seem to read between the lines and they don't seem to understand the meaning of words. And when Xi Jinping says, in front of the great iron steel wall, doesn't mean the Great Wall, you dumb shit. Oh my God. Okay, let's go to the next one, guys. Threat of broken heads, bloodshed as China's Communist Party marks 100 years. And it's pretty much the same old thing, guys. I'm not going to go through all of them. And look at this one. World War III warning. World War III warning. Can you believe this shit? China promises broken heads for enemies, threat to the West. And look at this from the Sun. Executions, sterilizations, and cannibal banquets. Oh my God, can you believe this shit? Look, those of you who don't know English very well, a cannibal means those who eat humans. Oh my God, can you believe this? Oh, can't believe this shit. 100 years of CCP, Tibetans narrate stories of China's brutality. 100 years of communist China's oppression. And look at this one. China's Communist Party, 100 Years of Repression. And this was written by some idiot. I don't know if anyone knows this guy in China, right? His name is Ron Shine. And he said he's a writer who has lived in several Chinese cities and 3 provinces over many years, working in education and media. Bullshit! If you're going to be living in China and 3 separate cities, you're not going to chat shit about China. You're going to say good things about China because it's not what you say it is. Literally bullshit. A lot of these guys are just chatting out their ass. Let's go through this article, guys, and we'll call it a day. And after persecuting millions of people with his notorious one-child policy for more than 30 years, even now China is still trying to control people's life choices with 3-child maximum. Do you even bloody know Chinese history? Seriously, these journalists have got no clue, uneducated fools. The reason there was a one-child policy is because China could not feed all its people. They were, dying of hunger and famine at the time when it was made. There's a reason for everything. They don't even look at what the reason was. And if they didn't do that, China would have been blamed for killing millions and millions of people. Having that one-child policy has saved a lot of lives. And obviously, guys, it's not perfect, but they had to do what they had to do at the time. And right now, it's not the problem having 3-child maximum. The problem is, people don't want to have kids anymore. I mean, all the kids are in debt, and look at what's going on around the world. I mean, who wants kids, man? Seriously, everyone's been put off having kids. So let's read this. Friends, neighbors, and even family members denounced each other whether they were guilty or not, with executions including beheadings, boilings, disembowelment, live burials, and stonings. What do you think China is? Saudi Arabia or something? I mean, they got confused with Saudi Arabia, guys. Seriously. Oh my God, this is absolutely ridiculous. And look at this here. And today, human rights group believe China has detained more than 1 million Uyghur Muslims against their will, and there's hundreds of thousands being incarcerated. There is also evidence that they're being used in forced labor. Where is the evidence? Show me the bloody evidence. What evidence? And what human rights? The only human rights that are campaigning is the one that are, funded by the CIA or the intelligence agencies in the US. No other human rights are saying that. It's just all fabricated shit. Any person with a brain can see that. And these journalists, they don't do any research. They don't do anything. Seriously, they're just uneducated fools. Victims claim they have been subjected to torture, having pins pushed through the nails, given electric shocks, being force-fed, being force-fed. If I was a prisoner, I was being force-fed, I'd love it. And other methods claiming to inflict maximum pain and humiliation. Really, they probably got that from Guantanamo Bay, guys. What the Americans have been doing to all the Arabs and Muslims. And look, there's a picture. Look at this picture. I swear they got this from some manga cartoon. Oh my God. Can you see what the hell I have to deal with the Western media, guys? It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not gonna go through it anymore, but you can see the kind of shit that Western media posts out there. It's absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Okay, listen, guys. These are my thoughts. End of the day, whatever America's doing, whatever the West is doing, they're not going to stop China. China at the moment, 30 years ago, had the same GDP as India. And now China is 4 times as much GDP as India. And they're the second growing economy at the moment. And in 10 years, they're going to overtake America. And they can overtake America easily. Firstly, there's 1.4 billion people in China, 4 times as many in China than America. And all these 1.4 billion people have to do is just double their capita. And that can happen in the next 10 years. All they have to do is just capita per person, just double it, and they'll overtake America easily. They don't have to do all these trades all over the world. That's a bonus for China. But their people are the strong point at the moment, and you can't stop that. No Western country can stop that. America can't stop that. All the West can't stop that. And they're trying. You can see how hard they're trying, and they're failing. And they're failing and making they're just making an embarrassment out of themselves. They can see how much China has improved over the past 30 years, and they can see that the communism, CPC, socialism, and with Chinese characteristics is working. And this form of government is working, and you can see how fast China has grown over the past 30 years. And all of these Western countries, all their democracies, they're all scared, thinking, oh shit, this communism style is working for them, but this is beating our democracy system. We need to shut them down soon because this is a danger to our democracy. I mean, seriously, screw democracy. I mean, democracy in the West is fake. It's not real. People think they got freedom, but in reality, they don't. I mean, for instance, I live in UK and we have two parties, the Conservatives and the Labour Party. They both have exactly the same policies, guys. Nothing different. Exactly the same policy, exactly the same foreign policy, exactly the same domestic policy. There's no difference. So you can vote for one or the other, but you still get the same. When when there was a Iraq war and there was millions and millions of people demonstrating outside Buckingham Palace, outside the parliaments, did they stop going to the war? No. When there was mass demonstrations in London for Israel to stop Palestine bombings, did there was millions of people there? Did the government stop, or did the government send a message out to Israel, or send a message out to the media for Israel to stop? No, they didn't. In fact, they sent a message out to support Israel bombing Palestine. That's what we have to deal with here, guys. The media in UK, none of them have any freedom. None of them. BBC, Sky. If any of these news organizations go against the government, they're just going to get shut down. The thing with BBC, who do you think funds the BBC? We do. We do as civilians, but also the government funds BBC as well. BBC is all funded by the taxpayers' money. So if the BBC writes something against the government, what do you think the government will do? They'll just say, okay, we're going to stop your funding now. We're not going to give all these tax money to yourselves, and we're just going to stop the funding from all the civilians as well that pay you. So you're on your own. That's what they're going to do. And there have been papers in the past, things like News of the World, and there's been other papers as well who have been going against the government. And what happened to them? They've been shut down. So that's why a lot of media outlets in UK, they're scared to tell the truth. They're scared to do real journalism. They're scared not to be biased. Real journalism is, you're a journalist, and you say things on both sides of the argument. You're not biased on one side. You just say, you get both sides of the story, and you let everyone else decide for themselves. That's real journalism, and that kind of journalism is gone. That's freedom. That's real freedom. But if you look at all the Western papers nowadays and all the Western media, everything is biased towards the Western governments. Nothing's two-sided anymore. It's all one-sided. And if Fox News or CNN decide to write something against the government, what do you think will happen to them? They'll be shut down as well. Seriously, Western government, Western media, you don't get the freedom like they think that you do. And do you know what they did with Apple Daily in Hong Kong? They were telling, Apple Daily was sending, papers out asking for sanctions against China. You're asking for sanctions against China and Hong Kong, your own country, your own city. Seriously. And you call yourselves, proud citizens, Chinese or Hong Kong citizens, and you're asking for other world to give you sanctions. Of course you're going to get shut down. Imagine Fox News putting out news saying, well, the rest of the world, please sanction America. What do you think is going to happen to them? And human rights. America talks about human rights, but what about America's own citizens? 60% of them are living below poverty. And if you look at America right now, a lot of people don't know this. You can easily Google homeless people in America, homeless people in Hollywood. You can see there's thousands and thousands of people in America homeless. They just literally on the streets. It's disgusting. 60% of them are on the street. They're hooked on drugs. They're basically just waiting to die. They don't get any COVID treatments. And a lot of them is because, they follow the American dream and their dream turns into nightmare. And the way the American system is, the top 10% get all the money, they make all the money. And the bottom 60%, they're basically under poverty. They lose money. And then you've got the middle classes who are basically struggling to make ends meet. Seriously, and this is what you call democracy. And the way incarceration works in America, America's got the largest rate of incarceration in the whole world. There's more people incarcerated in America than there are the whole population of Lithuania. And most of them are black. Black people get treated differently in America than white people, and that's a fact. 80% of people in prisons are black. Seriously, and you got all this Black Lives Matter stuff going on. And let me tell you something, if you got money in America, you can live a good life. But if you got no money, you get sent to jail. Do you know why? Because you can just look at all these American movies, right? If you're in a court and they set bail, for such a high amount you can't afford, that's it, you get sent to jail. And the only people that can afford bail are the rich people or the people that can afford it. But the poor people who can't afford bail, they get sent straight to jail because the country don't care about poor people, do they? Oh no, you're useless to society, so let's send you to jail. That's why they set bail, is to differentiate the rich from the poor. Because the way America sees it, if you're rich, if you've got money, then you're safe, you're okay. But if you got no money, you're screwed. Straight to jail, mate. We don't need you, or go homeless. We don't need you. That's America's human rights. And don't forget the human rights America has been doing over the years, bombing all these Muslims, opening Guantanamo Bay, torturing Muslims. And they talk about human rights. And look at their past, the slavery, the colonization. Americans want to talk about human rights. And then why is it one country can do whatever the hell they want and another country can't? For example, Saudi Arabia is allowed to kill reporters, chop them up, literally chop these reporters up. The last reporter they killed literally chopped him up in a bag and dumped him. And what do Americans do about it? Nothing. They're going to kind of slap them on the wrist and, oh no, don't worry, we're still friends. It's all right. Happens. And they make up crap about China. They really have no legs to stand on. And it's the same in every other country, every other Western country, Canada. They've been killing indigenous kids for years. And they talk about human rights in front of the UN about the Uyghur Muslims. Oh, we care about Uyghur Muslims. When did you start caring about Uyghur Muslims? Do you even know what Uyghur Muslims are? It's absolutely ridiculous, guys. You got Canadians, you got Australians, you got the British, you got the Americans. They're all part of the same blood, all part of the same gene. They all come from Britain. We all started from there, guys. Britain colonized America, then they turned it into Americans, then they turned into Canadians after that. Then Britain sent, basically convicts to America at one point. And those convicts, turned into Australians. So you can see it was all started from colonial Britain. And back then, Britain was the biggest colonial bastards out there. And when I was growing up in school, guys, they don't teach you anything about Britain's colonial past in history books. They teach you the nice stuff. They teach you the good parts of history. They talk about, yeah, World War One, World War Two, how we defeated the evil, Nazis and all of that. They talk about stuff like that. But when it comes to the dark things that Britain has done, no, there's nothing in the books. There's no mention of Britain, how they the opium wars in China, the two opium wars, how they marched and destroyed the Summer Palace, how they stole all the antiquities, how they colonized India, how they looted literally half the world. None of that is in the history books. Kids don't get taught any of that. I had to teach myself that. So, is that what human rights is about? Is that what freedom is about? Where they teach you just what they want you to hear? Anyway, guys, I just think every country's got its own system that works well for them. China's found a system that works well for them. Back then, over 100 years ago, China was having all these civil wars and infighting, and it made them weak because they didn't stand together. And because they were weak, the British and the French and the Germans and the Russians even, just took them for granted. And look what happened, 100 years humiliation. Now look at China. Everyone's together. Everyone's one unit. Nobody's divided. And if there is any division, it's just made up shit from the West. The Communism Party and what they stand for and what they've built, it's great for them. No other country can boast 30 years of what they've done from 30 years ago to now. No country can boast that in the world. No country can boast that fast, development and also getting so many people out of poverty, millions and millions of people out of poverty. No country can boast that. Only China can boast that. That means they're doing something good. So why don't these Western countries and Western media, why don't they just celebrate with China and just say, you guys did good. We congratulate you. You did very good. Maybe we can learn things from each other. Maybe you can teach us stuff and maybe we can teach you stuff. That's how it should be. But no, they just want to kick China. They just want to kick China whenever they get a chance. Even good things happen, they want to kick China. Bad things happen, they want to kick China even more. That's the world we live in, guys, and I'm completely embarrassed out of it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, share. You know the drill. If you like the video, please support us. If you really like the video, then you can donate, buy me a coffee, or join our Patreon. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.